subscribers, anyone who happens to stumble across this video. I'm here in my hometown, and it's a beautiful fall day. Sorry, I should probably talk to the camera. I'm here in my hometown. It's a beautiful fall day, and I thought it might be a nice backdrop for you all to look at while I address this channel announcement video. So what I want to say, well, first of all, it's probably the first time you see me in front of the camera, unless you dig really far back and you can see me playing at my high school talent show. But I just wanted to kind of address you all directly. First of all, say, no matter how you're viewing this video, thank you for watching and for supporting the channel. If you are aware of this channel, there's a couple different ways that you could be aware of it. So I kind of want to address each kind of community. So the first one is if you're a family member or friend who's known me for a long time, and if you are, hello, love you all. I'm doing well, thank you. Secondly, you might have found me through my Houdini tutorials. So I used to make tutorials for Houdini, which is a visual effects software by a company called Side Effects. And I really enjoyed doing that. That was really fun. I haven't made a new Houdini tutorial in a while, so I don't know how many folks are still kind of holding on from that side of what I used to do. I love Houdini. I think it's an amazing software. It's super cool. It's not a big part of kind of what I do now, but if you're using it and you found any of my tutorials helpful in the past, then I'm really happy to have been of some help, possibly. And I hope that you're doing well in your journey learning Houdini and visual effects and things like that. The third and the kind of the more recent way that you might have found me is through my connection with GD Quest as the community manager. So I was in charge of answering questions on the website and some of the stuff on the Discord as well. And when I would answer students' questions, oh, by the way, I should just say this is for the game engine Godot, and GD Quest provides educational content for that game engine. It's geared more towards kind of learning how to develop game development skills as a whole, but it uses the Godot engine as kind of the main vehicle to kind of learn those skills. And so I would answer questions. I find that for me, the video format is really effective. I like speaking. It's easier for me to kind of convey my thoughts that way than to necessarily write stuff down. And it's a little, I feel like it gives a little personal touch. You can kind of hear like, hey, I'm a human too. I make mistakes just like everyone. So if we're having a problem with something that maybe we run into a problem when we're doing our game development, that's totally normal and that's okay. And one of the things I want to do is kind of normalize that and kind of, I want to get rid of the illusion that there's somehow this giant gap between maybe where you are in your game development journey and maybe people, you might think, oh, they always know the answers or something like that. It usually doesn't work that way, right? Usually, we're all just trying to solve our own problems, right? And so I started making videos in response to questions there, and the easiest way to kind of share those videos was just to make them on YouTube as kind of these private videos, and then kind of posting the links in the GD Quest forums. So that may be how you have found my channel. So what I want to do is kind of announce kind of a new direction for the channel, as far as what you can expect to see, and maybe what sorts of things might interest you versus maybe if the content isn't to your interest, then absolutely no hard feelings. Like, I know my direction has kind of changed a lot over the years, so it's a little hard to kind of track me. But basically, as of when this announcement video goes up, I'm going to be rebranding the channel to Olive Hill Studios, which is a game studio that consists of 3 individuals: myself, my twin brother, Eric, who lives in Bangkok, Thailand, and my youngest brother, Brian. Okay. And so the 3 of us are working on games together, and we have a game in production right now that we're working on. And part of the direction of this channel is I'm going to be creating 2 video series, and 1 episode of each of those series will release each week. Okay, so the first series is just going to be called DevLog, and it's just a traditional devlog style format. If you've seen other indie developers, how they do those, so it'll be, you know, some footage of us working on the game. I'll probably bring Eric and Brian in on several of those episodes, and we can kind of talk about, you know, what we're working on currently, what we're trying to do, different ideas, things like that. So it's kind of like a behind the scenes kind of series. And you know, if you're interested in if the game looks interesting to you and you want to kind of follow the development, that'll be the series to kind of keep track of it. And then the other video series that I want to that I'm creating is a series called GameDev Building Blocks, and that's a more educational tutorial style video where we really go basic, kind of step by step, and kind of build up some knowledge of game development, specifically from the programming side of things. And we start with really basic stuff, like literally variables, you know, so it's meant to be very approachable. But what I'm doing with that series to make it maybe a little bit different than maybe what else is out there is there's kind of 3 parts to each Game Dev Building Blocks video. The first part is kind of like where I explain the concept. It's a little bit more of a traditional kind of academic kind of explanation. The second part is where we talk about some use cases for some games, and these use cases will kind of be theoretical. So I might kind of say, oh, hey, you know, remember in Pokemon Red or Blue when they did this, you know, this is where you might have used this concept to solve that problem, right? And then the third part is a concrete example in one of our games of us using that concept. So we'll look at actual source code from the games and the projects that Olive Hill Studios is working on. So, you know, you can see how the concepts that I'm trying to teach in that series, you can see how we apply it to solve actual problems that are facing us in actual game development. I think that part could be really interesting, I think. And it's one of the things that I can bring to the table, you know, being a part of Olive Hill Studios and being in active game development on those projects. That's something that I can incorporate into the education content that I think will be interesting, and I think will just be a nice way to kind of differentiate my content from maybe like kind of a code along tutorial or something like that. And not that those videos aren't great, they're super helpful, and I absolutely recommend using those, but it's like I'm just trying to think like what I can bring that's different, and I don't think I can do a better code along than what GD Quest has, or Heartbeast, or like all those amazing you know, Devlog Logan, you know, there's amazing you know, channels and sources in the community for those kinds of things. And so what I'm doing is just kind of my own spin on it, just a little bit different. And if it's a type of learning style, you know, I would say that if you find my learning style effective for you, so if you've stumbled across a video of mine on the GD Quest forums or from some other means, and you enjoy the way that I explain things, then I would say stay tuned, because I'm kind of leaning into that kind of even harder, and you know, creating content around that kind of style. And I know my education style isn't for everyone. I've always been aware of that, and if it doesn't work for you, then I totally understand. But there are people that it does seem to help a lot, and so I want to kind of continue to kind of provide that kind of content. So whether you're a fan of Olive Hill Studios, the games, or Olive Hill Studios, the education content, thank you very much for sticking around. And I should mention the release schedule. So one of the things that I'm kind of committing to doing is being really consistent with the release schedule. And I already have a couple episodes of each series kind of in the bank to kind of help me with that. So GameDev Building Blocks will release a new episode every Monday. Okay, so every Monday at noon Pacific, you can expect a new video for there. And then on Friday is going to be the devlog videos. So the devlog videos will be released Friday. So Friday also at noon Pacific. So every week you get 2 new videos on this channel. One that's the GameDev Building Blocks, Monday at noon, and the second one, Friday at noon. This is Pacific Standard Time. So anyway, I don't like to get in front of the camera that much. I'm a relatively shy person by nature, but I just felt like with this new kind of rebrand and kind of a new commitment to consistent content creating and really trying to kind of find where this channel can become a steady source of entertainment and education for people who are interested in that kind of thing. I felt like it deserved a face-to-face. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them for me in the comments. I try to respond as much as I can. And also looking forward to introducing the rest of my brothers who are my team members. I think you'll find them also really fun, interesting individuals to work with. So this is Andrew signing off, and we'll see you in the next video.